Sharks need to try to clamp down and figure this one out. They do have the opening pick in this round. They have some good intel on Cello's location here, thanks to Pank. Holding a good angle here on Big Garage.
Oh, Pank getting a perfect timing, but unable to finish off the frag onto Yell, who just about escapes. Cello's trying to make a move in towards the credit card area now. And if Pank moves back into Garage, he could be a goner. Flashes in, but still loses his life. He's done a lot of damage to those two players. But 4-play-4 with just shy of a minute to play with.
The problem is now Cello knew where he was once he got spotted when he missed his chance outside. And so the element of surprise on Cello and Big Garage, the information war, was now equal. And like you said, tried the flash push. It did not work out to get the advantage. Basically, back over to Made in Brazil. Yeah, it's even numbers, but it's usually going to favor the T's in situations like this. Now, time is running a little bit low. Is one thing, and still good positioning here from the CTs on upper side as Luca does swing on the JNT, but again, Luca stands firm defending the site. That's going to be it. Exit tries to save the day, but unable to do so, and that's going to be, finally, a response out of the Sharks defensively. You feel that was a must-win round, Vince, to hang around in this one. They need to do more. They need to keep it going. They're still 4 rounds behind. There's still an economy available for Made in Brazil, including an op that will come out from Yell.
Yeah, whereas there is no op component on the Sharks at the moment. They're still not quite there, economically speaking, because they did concede 2 players in that previous round. Yes, they managed to make that lightning strike, but it needs to hit consecutively. You need to start breaking down the T's. They've called their tactical timeout. They know the importance of this round in MIBR. So if they can instantly come straight back in and neutralize the Sharks, break their economy down, yes, Zevi would be able to afford, but pretty much everybody else at 1900 loss bonus would not be able to. Then you're looking at a golden ticket towards the finish line.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is another one of those, fragile type of rounds where both economies are in the dumps. And so someone's going to win a big reward with a victory in this round. Someone's going to find themselves in a lot of trouble. Sharks, of course, the one that could be the more expressed team. Cello trying to make a move here outside. Smoke wall is down. He is able to get to Secret very quickly. You could definitely see the faster pace out of Made in Brazil and how quickly they're able to get this much real estate. I think that's something you kind of noted earlier in the half that's persisted.
Yeah, at least the Sharks seem to realize this, though, and they're playing Zevi downstairs on Secret to make sure this doesn't get pushed in. That is another way of contending with it. The problem, though, is you're quite susceptible to just being rushed down, and even a 1-for-1 trade down in Secret will be worthwhile for the T's. It keeps you in a position, additionally, that's very difficult to rotate back towards ramp, towards the A side should they fall. So I think MIBR are doing such a good job of out-positioning young Sharks and putting them in these awkward spots.
Oh, sure. Definitely causing a lot of lack of information for Sharks, making it a lot harder for them to make the rotations that they want. Yes, you can rotate quickly through vents, and you have those options, but it still could cause gaps to be there if they're just a little bit off on their reads. As Made in Brazil have yet to make a big move just yet. They still have Cello in an interesting position towards those back halls. They could vent dive. They could still attack upper. They have their options open. They try to go with the dive. They do get it straight, and they do get one down the vents, but Luca stops the other and stops the bomb as well, Vince.
They can't pick it back up again, though, because Shiz is down here. The time is starting to dwindle. 15 seconds. They need a big moment from Cello. We can get one, but not post up anymore behind it. An exit in no position to turn the tides against the Sharks and submerge them one more time. So, young Sharks will pick up the round, and with 3 players left alive, now they're starting to build an economy. Now they're starting to actually make this a little bit more costly. It's MIBR's turn to feel the burn economically.
Absolutely. Now we're starting to see Sharks settle into this game and get that defense rolling. Big round to win, and to do so with enough guns carried over to, like you said, keep that economy flowing in the right direction. While an AK is saved by exit, as you noted, there's not a whole lot of money to buy around it. Yell does have 4,000, so he has a little bit of an option. Same maybe with Cello, but Bolts and Shiz, you feel, are well and truly out of it in that regard, and so they probably have to, despite the bullet here, maybe go upgraded pistols at best around this AK. Really just depends on how risky they want to get. They do still have a bit of cushion with this 3-round lead, so they don't necessarily have to take any big risk here. So we're going to see another timeout taken, this time from Sharks. So extra time to talk things through. You see that Cello has got a Deagle. There's some utility being purchased as well from Yell. But that's about it. I think a couple of P250s were actually dropped as well in the midst of all this, so definitely not a big investment coming out of Made in Brazil into this, looking to take a more conservative approach. Which, again, considering their lead and considering their economic situation, this is the right call.
Oh, yeah. Even after conceding this, they're still going to have a 2-round advantage, assuming that they do concede this. I mean, they have enough firepower on Exit, who's had a really good game so far. I mean, Bolt has been the shining light, but a lot of the early rounds, Exit in particular, was very, very good. So they could still make this costly for the young Sharks, but as you say, what's the point in forcing and potentially throwing yourself into an awful position when you can just wait for the next round and come back stronger? Yeah, you have conceded the last 2 rounds. It's looking a little bit bleak in terms of what they've been able to accomplish in those 2, but if they can figure out a couple of weaknesses that young Sharks have, they can still very much exploit that. Utility early on, over on the ramp side with a molly and a flash behind, it's going to keep them at bay. It looks like they may be looking to burst out here, and Rielson may be caught off guard. He dipped back down just as they push past the angle, and now he has to give this one up. First frag goes his way, but there's no follow-up damage. Nobody is there behind Exit, and they just get picked off one by one. I like the idea, but it backfires.
Indeed does backfire. I think the one thing we can point to, though, Vince, is kind of this theme that we have been able to see Made in Brazil get some pretty important amount of control pretty rapidly. And that's, I think, one thing that they can kind of grasp onto coming into the next buy round is kind of knowing where they've been successful on taking space. And they seem to build off of it a little bit better. Just maybe get the timings a little bit better. Just try to get the spacing. You know, maybe don't leave Cello out there on his own. Maybe just exercise that full outside control with numbers and really exploit those back hauls or exploit outside and try to attack into this mini area. I mean, there's so many options open, and they're trying to maybe go a little bit heavy-handed with some utility. Some of it has been extinguished, but there still is that smoke wall outside to get some room.
Oh, this is a bit of a different take. They haven't really played too aggressively outside of this squeaky smoke, and this time they have. And the fact that Luca's gone down means that JNT has to use this silo as a bit of reprieve, and it gives up squeaky control. This is so well maneuvered by MIBR. They're dividing and conquering this site, and it was nothing particularly extravagant. It was just meat and potatoes play, making the most out of a couple of opportune moments. And now it's looking so good for them to take their 13th, and this is kind of what we're talking about, Dust.
Yep.
You can just give up a couple of rounds. You can just have a quick feel as to what the Sharks have in store, and then pick them apart when you feel comfortable.
Big fan of meat and potatoes, by the way.
Who isn't? Actually, there's a lot of people on.
Yeah, I'm about to say vegans, vegetarians. You really got wrecked there. But it's still a high population of people do like it. Yes, you are correct. As Made in Brazil make a bold statement with that round. It's a nice little lurk from Yell into upper. They also counter Hut aggression, and they get outside into mini, which opens up a nice little upper split for Made in Brazil. So able to come out swinging there, get this to 13-10. Money still available for both sides, but look at how little is left for Sharks. You have to feel this is a must-win for them. If not, Made in Brazil are going to be skating towards map point. I like this outside aggression. They're trying to change things up a little bit. They know how much that Made in Brazil have attacked us quickly and found kind of free space, so Exit take completely off guard there. Really nice adjustment.
We forced their way through Squeaky, though, via down on the vents. And with a lot of the components, the CTs being out of position, this will be a post plant.
Yep.
And not just that, but it'll be a post.
Ó, rivalidade, vai chegar o backup, vai queimar aí esse HC, vai queimar, cara. Não me queima que eu te queimo, não me queima que eu te queimo. Olha a posição, ó, olha que belezinha. Esse aí é o Lucão, esse lixeiro, né? Lixeiro, você viu o sucesso fundo da frente. Que isso, você vai, se? Que isso, você vai, se? Ele é muito rápido, cara. 13-11. Nossa senhora. E se ele não pega aquela kill, ia azedar demais, velho. Porque ia ficar um x1 e o cara ia poder brincar no tempo, tá ligado? Ele ia poder ali, ó. Nossa, que kill foi? Ó. Que isso, velho. NA replay, né, cara? NA replay, velho. NA replay. Aí na tela do device, cara. Aí na tela do device. É o replay moral, né? É o replay da tela moral. Replay moral. Diga-se de passagem, né? MIBR 13, Sharks 11. Clima de silêncio, velho. Clima de silêncio aqui, né? Clima de silêncio, velho. O round é a tensão, um silêncio ensurdecedor da tensão do jogo, velho. 13-11 é o sentimento que vai passando, cara. Ninguém respira. Os jogadores só vão respirar quando acabar o round, velho. Tem mais 45 segundos. O torcedor também. Se achar que fizer esse round...
Bad servers stopping your shots?
In a UMP, a CZ on JNT. They're trying once again for this outside aggression. See if they can catch Main Brazil perhaps off guard. You see that SMG is trying to play in the shadows of that smoke as Cello and company start creeping forward, but they clean him out. Not a frag, but they do get the space.
Damage inflicted, though.
True.
So that's at least a little bit of a bonus. But lack of utility here, for me, becomes a real issue. Only one flash between the 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And MIBR have already shown they have no issue getting downstairs. They have no issue closing the gap and making this sweaty. So Luca will take the initiative. If the timing works out in his favor, maybe he can... off, and Pank takes the push around the back and stabs them with the UMP. They have the player advantage, but a low...
Para tadear no llegaba a escaparse, en el humo lo encontraban, Luca Oz iba por otro single.
This AWP and Made in Brazil have made a huge blunder out of this round, just getting crossfired in that outside position from Secret and Mini. This was their chance to basically put this game away, and they have kind of soiled it. You do have to tip your hat to Sharks for the creativity and the cunning and the fearlessness to try to take those fights and do the best what they have, but you have to feel like Made Brazil had him up against the ropes and missed the chance.
Yeah, that really is a sloppy round from MIBR.
O pior é que eu cobri ali, velho. O pior é que eu ficava muito na vovó também, velho. Aí você, né, com todo respeito, começaram a varar muito a vovó, velho. Muito, muito. Nossa, cara. Não dava mais pra ficar na vovó, cara. Era todo o round ali, velho, né? O pessoal subia ali, pegava, subia a montanha e toma varada, toma varada. Olha,
After just a few moments ago, it was looking as though this map might even be done. Now, they've got one frag.
Oh,
That was
no.
a team kill? What happened there, Pank?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. You don't want to be giving inroads to a team. Luckily, that's the only ones that were coughed over.